Hey, it's Jake from Ramble On Studios. Today we're with Attila at the Uppercut Deluxe Jungle Room. Today we're going to do a bit of a versatile cut. Attila likes to keep a lot of weight so that way he can have like a more of a relaxed look most of the time. But we've got an event coming up. He wants to wear it a bit neater. We're going to do something where we can put a bit of deluxe in, slick it right back. So first thing, we're just going to saturate the hair, get it wet, get it all mapped out, identify anything we want to change. We've already spoken and discussed that we do want to lose a little bit of weight from here. There's like a slight disconnection from a previous haircut that we're gonna get rid of. And then we're gonna maintain a lot of the length through the top. And then just a taper all around, keep a bit of weight through the corners, nice clean edges. I'm actually gonna use a bit of Foam Tonic as well. All right, so we're just gonna start with like a basic horseshoe section. So we're just gonna find the part where the hair wants to fall. And we're just going to take a little bit of just from here, just that little bit that kind of falls into the fringe. And then we're just going to put our first guide in. We've obviously got this little bit of extra weight that we've identified from a pre-existing haircut where it was disconnected. So we're going to take a lot of that off. This is going to be our guide for the top. You can see underneath the disconnection there's about just under an inch. And he hasn't had a haircut for 2 months, so we're going to use that. Keep nice, even tension. If you have to resection, feel free to, because you want your work to be clean and easy. There's your guide. Slight pull back on every cut. It just helps keep tension on the hair. So that's what we're going to work with. Everything underneath that we're going to take away, and everything above that we're going to blend into. So we put this kind of like first guide in, so everything underneath tells us where we need to go, and everything above tells us where we need to go. So as we come back around, we're obviously going to come into that point where we have that little bit of extra weight left over. So you will start to cut a bit more off again. That's okay. Remember to trust your guide. So we're going to utilize this flow that he's got. There's our guide. Because we put that first guide in around the ridge. That's what we're working to. So we know that we're never going to have to angle too far in and take too much out. There's our guide underneath. Next section, coming it out. We've got that shape to it now, keeping all that weight up top, working our way down, and just continuing that shape around the head. You can start to see less will come off around here because we don't have that disconnection. So we're not really taking too much weight out of the top. As we come around to the back of the head, I like to do one last section that I just kind of work straight down. Now we can see we've kept all that nice weight through here. Just repeating that process. First section I always kind of like to go about like 1 centimeter up from the C-cup to the rounding of the ear. So we'll come through, pulling down to our previous section because we're trying to build the weight up. From here, get your first guide, and then this starts to dictate what sort of shape you want to create. So if you want like a tapered sort of look from behind the ear, you can come in and start to angle it close towards the head. Or if you want like a more of a mullet, that's where you would kind of elevate out and help build up that weight. But this is that zone where you, from here, you can start to create different shapes and work closer towards the base of the neck. So as we start to come around, the bottom of our section will start lining up with parts we've already cut. So you can see here, here's where we've cut before, here's where we're about to cut, and here's part of our central profile guide that we kind of finished off with. So if we see that, we know that we've used our sections correctly and everything's lining up. So once you get through there, you just kind of stop. And as we come into here, we should see that the sections kind of line up. Bang. Easy. And that's a good sign, because that means you know you didn't screw up somewhere along the way. All right, so starting with the top now, we're going to resection. We're going to do just a basic triangular section because we want to keep a lot of this weight through the front. This is kind of the centerpiece. This is what Attila likes, where you can kind of have it hang, but we can also utilize a lot of it and bring it back. So we're going to pretty much work from the middle of the head, highest point. So easiest way to do that is just put your comb here. Wherever that wants to sit, that's where you want to go. And then you basically want to work to the recession point, to that point. So we can get rid of a lot of this. We don't need that right now. And then you can just pinch. So you put your comb here, put your thumb where you want it to end, and just pinch. And then you can just comb that out of the way. So pretty simple. Same thing here. There's a lot of hair, so this is why sectioning makes your life a lot easier. So now that we've established that, we've already established a length that we want the top to kind of sit on, which is about middle of the ear. We're just going to cut that in. And this will just work as our, I guess, exterior guide for once we elevate it and cut the top. We know where to cut to. So there's where we've cut previously. Now we know when he wears it back, there's not going to be anything that hangs over, but we've kept all that. So now because we've cut that exterior guide, we're just going to cut point to point. So we've got our shortest point here and our shortest point here. And we can just identify that and then just cut the middle out. Point cutting to give it like a softer finish. Because we obviously want something we can wear back neat but still has that nice day-to-day looser sort of style. Yeah, so fringe, we don't really want to take much out. Pretty happy with keeping most of that. So we're just going to bring it, over direct it back a little, and just kind of cut it all in one hit. And this will keep it a little bit longer at the front, because obviously we're over directing back, and then work shorter towards the back, and that should hopefully match up with about the length that we took off through the middle. With our central guide, lift up, and there's a touch of weight there, but that pretty much blends in. So we've kept the weight through the corners of the fringe. We've taken a little bit off through the middle so we can wear it back. So when he wants to put some deluxe in, slick it right back, we get that nice shape. There's weight through the corners, but then from day to day, we've got that more loose, natural, softer look. I'm going to start with the blow dry now. Get it all in a shape. We want it as dry as possible because when we start to put the clipper work, if the hair's wet, it's not going to react the same. It's also not going to give us like the best visual cue of how it's looking because once you dry the hair, color changes, density changes. So we're just going to get stuck into that now. All right, so now the blow drying's done, we can see how it's all sitting. We can see the shape we're trying to create. So we just want to work on the taper now, work on this zone and then in the back. So I've got my 3, we're just gonna work from about here. And this should just kind of blend in. We'll do like a little bit of clip over comb work, but we're just gonna go through. And listening, making sure that we can't actually hear any hair cutting off. That way we know that we've removed everything down to that length. So now we're just going to go in with our 0, and we can see, if we look at the actual base, we can see there's like a little bit of a cowlick hair, some lighter spots here and here. So we want to start our 0 guideline about there. Go through with our trimmer. We're not going right up to the line, we're going just underneath and flicking out. Now we're just going to go through with our shaver. Alright, so our next guide, we're going to use a 1.5 guard. Lever all the way open. And just flicking. So now we're going to be working with our half guard. Lever open again. And this is going to complement the rest of the style. That really nice, soft low taper. Alright, so now we're pretty much just going to repeat the process just on the front taper. So we're just going to turn the head over just a little bit, that way as we scoop out, we're not going to push into that weight. And we're going to set our bottom guide. And you'll notice it's almost like a semicircle shape, and what that does is it helps keep the weight on either side, so when we line it up, it's going to make it pop that little bit more because we've kept a little bit of weight in the corners to actually utilize for the lineup, and then as we fade, we're almost going to fade inside that, so it's going to help give it that kind of like that pop. Got our 1.5 guard open, tilting the head over. Half guard open. Same thing on this side. We can see where we've cut previously, everything under here needs to go. 3 open. 1.5 open. And then when you line up around the back, you use that same point of reference from where you started to come around the ear, to come down the ear, so that way it all blends in. And then coming in and pulling away. You don't want to push into the hair, because you're only going to come underneath the hairline, it's going to hang over and it won't look as neat. Whereas if you kind of come in, grab and pull away, you're going to cut the hair at like a much sharper, finer angle. So we're finished with the cut now. As you can see, we've kept a little bit of that disconnection because we know that Attila wants to have something that he can wear down, wear a bit looser from his day to day, but when he needs to, we can slick it up, put some deluxe in. So we want to keep a lot of that weight through here, and that'll help keep this weight back, because if we go super short here and have all this weight on top, it's just going to fall down. So this kind of acts as like a shelf. You can see it's already sitting pretty good because we've got some foam tonic in it and we've given it a blow dry, but now we're going to add some deluxe and get that really nice classic look. Make sure you get it all through your hands, so that way when you apply it, you can actually get it through all of the hair. Start at the front, just run our hands through, and then as we get towards the back, make sure you get root to tip. With hair like this, you really want to make sure that the product is through all of the hair. Alright, now that we've applied the deluxe, we're going to use our comb and make sure we get it all sitting back together, making sure all the hair's comb back neatly in place. From there we will add a bit of flare. So this is just more of your classic barbershop comb sort of look. You know, complements the Deluxe really well. Now we're going to give it a bit of life and go to more of our clients' everyday styling. Just using our fingers and giving it a good shake up, making sure it's got a bit of character. That's our style. We've got that really nice classic comb sort of look that looks really neat with nice edges, but then he can still wear it really loose on his day-to-day.